Today on the show, we have a very special guest. She is living her ultimate dream, being able to work full-time representing animals and their rights around the world. She's a crew member aboard the Bob Barker as part of the Sea Shepherd's Operation Waltzing Matilda Whale Defense Campaign in 2009-2010 in Antarctica, which is kind of appropriate. Waltzing Matilda being the unofficial anthem for Australia. She is an Australian girl. Fiona, welcome to Animal Talk.
Oh, thank you. It's great to be on here.
So, Fiona, you are part of the team there on Whale Wars, out there fighting the good fight for animal rights, and this is a passion for you for a long time. How'd you get your start with animals and conservation?
Well, I've been brought up in the Australian bush in Sydney, and someone actually asked me this question when about a few years ago. They said, what actually got you into animals? And then I went home to visit my family in Sydney, and I walked into the house and I looked around and I thought, there's no wonder. My mother has an animal print on every tiny small space in the house. So I just grew up, looking at wombats and all these different bird species, and and just loving the ocean and the bush and just everything about nature.
Okay, and you founded an Excellence in World Zoos. You're combining 2 degrees of economics and property. So you're a college girl heading back out into the wild, right?
Absolutely, yes. Yep, I did an economics degree. Don't know how I got through that.
Right on.
But I did. And then just finishing a Master's of Property Development. So I've been lucky to travel around the world, and I've been lucky to see many, many zoos, and I'd drag the families to all these, pretty horrible zoos in Russia and Indonesia, and I saw a big problem that the world wasn't really looking at, and that is terrible conditions of a lot of these beautiful animals. So my first project was basically redeveloping the Australia zone of the Beijing Zoo in time for the Olympics. So that got my property and animals sort of skills coming together. So I think there's a lot more work to do in my lifetime, but at the moment, really just representing Sea Shepherd and whales in Antarctica, and I'm in Los Angeles at the moment organising our next campaign, which is to help the Americans out with the oil spill. So
oh boy,
it's great to be here, and it's one of those irreversible catastrophes, but I think it's probably a wonderful time in human history to really make a concerted change to change our way and our living and the way we plan and actually turn this terrible thing into a positive.
Absolutely. And I mean that's one of the things you guys were doing out on the Bob Barker as part of Animal Planet's Whale Wars.
Yes,
you're trying to make things a little bit better. Some injustices going on for these whales. And it's just amazing. We talked to Peter last week about the show. How did you find your way onto the boat? What was your path to joining the crew of the Sea Shepherd out there, or the Bob Barker, the Sea Shepherd operation?
Well, I basically sort of sat there at my property desk and I thought, what am I doing? I really need to be representing the world and the animals. So I thought I'll come over to America, and I worked for 2 months volunteered at the Marine Mammal Center in San Francisco. And then I thought, I really don't want to go back to Australia. I really want to see where Sea Shepherd is based, because they're the number one organisation that is tackling an Australian issue with the Japanese whalers coming down and harpooning 1,000 whales just off the coast of Australia and down into the icy waters of Antarctica. And looked them up and said, can I come and volunteer? And it's a very small organisation. It's just got a handful of employed people. Everyone else is a volunteer.
Wow.
And they tried to say, look, I'm sorry, we don't take people before the campaign, but they told me later I was actually quite persistent. So I went and volunteered at their head office, which is on Friday Harbour, San Juan Islands, between Canada and America, Washington State. And, never even dreamed of going on the boat. I thought, number one, it looks very scary. And number two, it's extremely hard to get on these boats, because they normally want captains and skilled people who can, operate these boats, as well as passionate people. And then the captain, Paul Watson, came up to me after an event that I helped organise, and he said, you've done a wonderful job, would you like to go on the boat down to Antarctica? So I thought, this is just a life-changing experience to go down there and stop the senseless slaughter of these incredible endangered species that are in a Southern Ocean whale sanctuary. And it's also illegal to kill any whale around the world since the 1986 World Moratorium on anti-whaling. So, it was an amazing 4 months on the boat. We just ate vegan food, which was I'm now vegetarian. I don't think I'll ever eat another wild thing. Just realizing biodiversity is so important for the planet and the survival of humans as well. And, met some amazingly passionate young environmentalists that,
Sure.
willing to put their life on the line. And that's why Whale Wars is so exciting this season. It's an all-new episode. It's got more boats. It's got more action. It really is exciting. And we cut the Japanese whaling quota in half. So
that is
the best result we've had in 6 years. So
phenomenal.
Friday at 9 o'clock, if you're at home, please turn it on and you learn about the cause and some of the issues we've got.
How many boats were in the fleet there, taking part of the Operation Sea Shepherd, Waltzing Matilda, the whale defense there? How many boats were in your small fleet?
Well, normally there's one that's the Steve-O, and that's the flagship Sea Shepherd boat. But this year we actually had 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to give too much away, but
Sure.
We only come back to land with 2.
All right on.
So it is dangerous down there.
Yeah.
The Japanese whalers are very angry because it's $1 million. It's a $58 million industry. Just that particular.
Well, sometimes taking in just one. Yeah, Peter told us sometimes taking in just one whale will gross them $1 million.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's high stakes. How many women were on the boat? There were 3 boats. How many women were on your boat? How many women were out on the 3 boats there?
There's just 5 women on my boat, and so there's 77 people on all 3 boats.
All right.
And I think all up there's probably only about 7 or 8 women. So it's I thought it was fantastic because all these guys are just always wanting to watch Animal Planet and Discovery, and I was in heaven. There was such pretty amazing guys, but also just so in touch with the world and the environment, and the other girls were absolutely fabulous too. There was a girl from New York, a prosecutor who is now back in Australia on managing one of the boats, the Bob Barker down in Tasmania.
Right.
And it's all these people from all different walks of life. They're environmentalists, but they're ex-lawyers and ex-accountants, and it's an amazing group of people.
That is phenomenal. So you got invited on the boat. Would you do it again? And are you doing it again?
I will, yep. I'm most likely going to be going down there again. So there is a spot. But I would do it again because there's an absolute urgent need to really, save all the animals in the world, because if we can't save the most popular wild animal in the world, how on earth are we going to, try and save the small corroboree frog and all the beautiful insects and everything that we need in order for the living planet to breathe and live? So, it is a sacrifice. It is dangerous, but it is for a better world. And I think, we all want to live here for millions and millions more years. But at this rate, a lot of scientists don't think that humans will be around more than 600 years. The air is going to be too acidified. The oceans will be dead. A dead ocean is detrimental to life because it gives us half of the oxygen we breathe, and it also absorbs 30% of the man-made carbon that we put out in the atmosphere. And so if all the fish and all the whales and everything is dead, the sea will be dead. It will start having algae, won't be able to give us the oxygen. And we're heading towards an extremely scary state.
Sure.
The population of the world is going to double to 12 billion. Fisheries are expected to collapse by 2048. People are thinking about the environment, but we have to be radical. We're really heading towards a extremely catastrophic situation. But look, I love that being in America. I've met so many wonderful people. They're always talking about the environment. They're very sensitive. The Americans are extremely positive people. And they can really change the world, not only just with their influence in their economy, which obviously reverberates around the world, but in terms of their communication and there's 310 million Americans, there's 22 Australians. So, if America really gets behind this environmental movement, I think there is a good chance that we can actually come out of this and actually survive on this planet. And that's the greatest challenge of human beings that we've ever had, is being able to survive on this wonderful, wonderful planet we've been loaned.
Yeah.
At the moment, we are really, extinction is 1,000 times greater than it normally is.
Yes. We're in a fight for our lives, and you out there on the Bob Barker, the boat, part of Animal Planet's Whale Wars, in a fight for not just your lives, but the lives of whales. Just phenomenal people. And when is it on again?
It's on new episodes of Friday at 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a look through the schedule on the computer. I mean, cable television's new for me. I don't have it in my house, but
Right.
you know, there's different times we can see it. So you can sometimes see it an hour before and an hour later, and you can watch a few episodes in a row. But you know, it really is exciting, and it gets even more exciting. We have 6 of our crew very nearly killed. So.
But everybody made it back this season. All right.
We made it back, but as I said, one less boat. So
Well,
there's a boat at the bottom of Antarctica right now.
well, it's the people and the animals that count. So.
Yeah, it is absolutely. And you know, in 33 years, the Sea Shepherd has not injured a single person, but we're the most effective organisation in the world at the moment. That is actually having direct action to actually stop the illegal poachers of fishermen and people taking from the sea when really they shouldn't. Yeah.
All right. So Fiona McCuiag, Animal Planet's Whale Wars Friday at 9 o'clock. How can people find out what's next for Fiona and what's next with the Sea Shepherd organization? How can they find out about you guys?
They can find out on our website, www.seashepherd.org. And we've just been in the Mediterranean, and we've basically intercepted illegal fishermen taking bluefin tuna. That's looking like it's very close to extinction. There's only 15% left in the Mediterranean. And we're obviously doing the Gulf of Mexico oil spill. And we do have another couple of campaigns which I can't talk about, but really exciting. The world is looking at Sea Shepherd, and we are bringing a lot of attention to light. The money does, I mean, I'm a volunteer. I've been a volunteer for a year. There's very few paid people in Sea Shepherd. The money does go towards the campaigns. We don't have huge office rents. We don't have big salaries. We're very genuine people, and people can Facebook me, Fiona McCuiag, McCuaig. Facebook me. You can Google Fiona Whale Wars and keep up with the environmental articles that I put on there. But the Sea Shepherd website will keep you up to date with all the environmental issues in our campaign. So we really would love your support.
Excellent.
And thank you for caring about the environment.
For sure. So the whole Gulf of Mexico and that oil spewing into the ocean, is it fixable? Is this something we're going to be able to repair if we put enough time, effort, and energy and money behind it?
I mean, the scary thing at the moment is, you know, everyone just feels just so sort of, I mean, you and me can't fix the actual spill that's coming out. We just have to rely on BP to have the technology to cap it. And, I mean, the damage is absolutely irreversible. You know, there's millions of organisms and animals that are dying and will continue to die because they'll keep ingesting this toxic oil.
Yeah.
It's basically the Exxon Valdez every 5 days. I mean, it is the worst environmental disaster in the whole entire world. But this is a perfect time in history to really wake up and say we have to go on to alternate energy. These energy companies are way more powerful than governments in the world. They sway governments. And, you know, if we don't change our ways now about looking at the environment, then there is absolutely no hope. So let's turn this oil spill into a huge movement in terms of really putting energy behind saving our planet. So maybe it is a perfect time in history. Look, I mean, I'm trying to find a positive in this whole thing.
Sure.
I mean, it is just I mean,
so
really terrible.
SeaShepherd.org is lending a hand in the cleanup and trying to figure out a way to minimize the damage being done.
Absolutely,
Okay.
and you know, it's about working with other organisations down there to rehabilitate birds. You know, it doesn't just take a couple of hours to get the oil off.
Sure.
You need to basically sometimes clean them 30 times over a 3-month period. Then all the natural oils come off their body, and we have to wait till the natural oils come back so they don't die of hypothermia and they can also have the strength to fly. So what we're going to be doing is a different thing, and we hope to get a boat out there that we can get authorised wildlife personnel to go out, and we can rescue the animals out at sea, because at the moment there's not any organisation doing that. They're just finding the animals who have found refuge on the sea. So we just hope to go down there. We've been involved in oil spills a lot over the last 33 years. And look, I mean, we just want to just want to help the situation because it's just terrible.
For sure.
Terrible.
All right, so Fiona McCuiag, definitely going to make you a Facebook friend, and we'll put a link up that,
Please do.
make that a link up on our website, and people can check out Fiona and the adventures of the Sea Shepherd's operation on Animal Planet's Whale Wars Fridays at 9. Fiona,
Yes.
thanks so much for being with us.
Oh, thank you. It was wonderful to talk to you. Thanks so much for the support. We really appreciate it.
We'll give you a shout on Facebook real soon.
Okay, awesome. Can't wait.
All
Okay.
right, be well.
Bye. Wait.
All
Okay.
right, be well.
Bye. Wait.
All right.
Okay.